Hello, my name is Won Ho from Gongju National University. I'd like to talk about open edutech. Majorly, I would like to talk about how I use open source or open service for my own class. And the reason I'm using open source and open service for my class is related to the paradigm of open source, which is mentioned in the book of Wikinomics. So I would like to briefly mention about the idea behind open source solution and services. So if you read this book, the link is here. The book published 16 years ago, year 2006, and it tells us about that there is an open source paradigm which can be defined by openness, peering, sharing, and acting globally. This influenced a lot in e-learning sectors. E-learning is divided into three different sectors: solution, contents, and service. So each area is influenced by Wikinomics paradigm. As you can know, there are already many open source solutions. If you click the red link here, you can see the list of open source list you can use for your own class. This involves so many resources, so I don't like to go in detail here. But some of you know you can even substitute Photoshops and Illustrator and Microsoft Office with open source. But majorly here in my presentation today, the Moodle is the major open source solution which will be mentioned frequently in my presentation. And in the contents, probably you may have heard about OCW and OER, which is the opening the contents of each individual, institutions, organizations, or universities. They even open their teaching services, learning services on internet, which is called MOOC. You already know as the Massive Online Open Courseware. So with this understanding of this paradigm, probably you know now why I'm using these resources in my class. Also, we also talk about a lot about fourth industrial revolution, and new generation teaching should enhance the competency of posts for new generation. So 4 competencies which we mentioned is a collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. Some of the other speakers already mentioned about the importance of a tool we are using. So here is the reason why the tool is important for learning and teachings, and I would like to use open source solutions and services for enhancing these competencies for my own class. Having said that, let me come back to my class presentation. My class consists of many different elements. I will explain it one by one. So the most frequently used one for my class is the mind map. As you can see here, the tube story, the COKR, is the service I'm using. It's some part of the service is open, so you can use it free for certain limit. And here, this is the feature of the TubeStory mind map. Many people, many students can work together on the same map simultaneously to collaborate to produce a mind map that can be used for many purposes, like brainstorming or making textbook and many formal presentation, whatever. The produced mind map can be converted to various map style. And the map also can include many different kind of multimedia like videos or images that can be embedded into the mind map. And finally, the mind map can be converted to PowerPoint format. And LMS, for example, Moodle is integrated, and also IoT devices and sensors as actuators can be accessible from the mind map. There's not much time for my presentation for now, so I would like to introduce how collaboration works. I made a practice mind map here, so probably you can also access this map with this shortcut URL, either a QR code. So all of these functions are available on mobile devices too. So if you have a smartphone or iPad, you can use your tablet PC or smartphones to access this service and practice. So let's practice. If you click this one, this is open map for collaboration. So I will just clear this a little bit first. And up here, I opened another tablet PC, as you can see here. And tablet PC, let's practice. So as you can see now, the two users are using one map simultaneously. So I can type probably something here, insert my name or whatever the contents I like to produce, like this, and this map shared with another user simultaneously. Let's to do it on the mobile environment. Let's see how I can do it on the tablet. So for here, I can put image, and probably I can upload the image. I can even take a picture of me, and I can upload this one. And as you can see, people can upload and take a picture and upload instantly. So that's the way it works for collaboration using TubeStory services. And the other one is Moodle Activities. So as you can see here, Moodle has many different kind of activities. I use some of them because Moodle supports so many different kind of Moodle activities. What I use is the forum and quiz and workshop, feedback, and some monitoring functions. So that will be enough for making my e-learning class very efficient and effective. So first, the forum. From this mind map, I also already mentioned is integrated with the Moodle. So Moodle activity can be directly called from here as a mission. I use forum from the beginning of my class all the time. By using forum, I ask them to follow the missions here. like introduce yourself and reply to this post, and the next mission is to complete the Moodle quiz, and the final one is giving the feedback. Okay, the first one I will show that I already made it here. Okay, I'll delete and make it again. Okay, reply is one who is writing like this, and some more introduction of myself, but for the time limit I will just skip that one. So here, okay, you can see, and anybody with replying this one, I can see them, and probably I give them more restrictions or more suggestions to complete the items to introduce themselves. So they would write novels about themselves. So this is the way I use the forum here, and they are following that order. They are supposed to complete the Moodle quiz. So Moodle quiz, you can attempt, try the attempt. I just use one Moodle quiz type called simple calculation type. Moodle supports so many different kind, more than 15 different kind of quiz. So this is just one of the samples how simple calculation can be used for your class quiz making. So 47 plus 92, I will give some wrong answers because I don't want to use my brain here. Okay, so if you check, I ask them to repeat. I enable the repetition for the quiz for infinity, so they can try whatever they like. But remember, the 47, number 47 plus 92, so this was wrong, and you can try again, and next time 47 change to 45. This is just one question I made, and it changes the formulas. According to the formulas, it generates different quizzes with different numbers. So you can use this for you, even for your own class, because the students, every student is watching the quizzes with different numbers. And also, this is great that you can review the result of the students, okay, directly from here. So as you can see, you can just reload this page and check how students are doing, what they're doing. Okay, so this person get the grade like this, and you can even watch the history of the attempt. Here you can see how many times he tried and what time he made it correct or wrong. So this is a great way you can monitor how the students are doing. Also, the not only result but also the responses is a good way to watch that one. So you can see the whole record of their repetition at one glance. So Moodle, there are so many quiz types. In my blog, there are explanation about the other quiz types. If you click that one, probably you will have better understanding about different Moodle quizzes, about multiple choice, true, false, drag and drop, code runner, which is for different kind of programming quiz generation. You can even use a GeoGebra, and the stack is best for mathematical quiz generation. And there's so many, so you can get some more ideas how you can use quizzes for your own Moodle quizzes on your own class. Okay, there are other these are just for I prepared for my own presentation today. but there are other activities I'm using frequently for my own class. So workshop is one of them, and in the workshop, if you go there, probably workshop is a good tool because that one student can be graded by other students. So for this case, this student is graded by 3 other students, and they graded them as the number 76 as a point. That's the average of the grade he got from other people. This 80 is the maximum they can give. Now, the other 20 is that for the grade that he graded other people, probably he graded other 3 students, he graded, and whenever he graded other people, the Moodle calculate the deviation from the average of the student's score. So if the deviation is far away from the average, probably this student is grading the other students in wrong way. So he deducted the score from 20. So he can say probably this one. Okay, these students graded him, but his index is a little bit, grading is something wrong, so he got 19%. To use this, probably you need to give a specific rubrics in grading. Otherwise, there are going to be many claims and complaints about gradings. So it must be specific and very objective. So other thing is a feedback. So I will just show you how I use the feedback for 9th and 10th and 11th week. The feedback is the way for students to grade the teacher, the professor, or the lecturer. So I asked them, sorry for the Korean, I asked them to evaluate the question by the understanding level of themselves. So one student, he said that I just understood 70% of the class. The other said 90% or 100%. So this is the average. So 81% for the 9th week. Went up a little bit higher, 87 here. Went down a little bit lower here. This is a very accurate indexes for your own class, because I found out that this self-evaluation of the understanding very much coincide with the actual midterm or final term examination. That's very interesting result. There are other Moodle functions I use. Activity completion. So if you go to activity completion, Moodle for each individual activity, I can assign a completion status. For example, for the quiz, probably you can assign certain score to pass, to complete the quiz. And for the forum, probably you can ask to, as a completion condition, to post more than 3 posts on specific forum. By that way, you can define each individual activities to have completion conditions. And here you can check that how each student has completed their each own Moodle activity completion conditions. So check the area means that he or she completed the activity conditions. Also the grade, every gradable activities can leave the grade here. So this is very good. So at the end of your semester, probably you download all the results, and using Excel you can sum up and you can report it back to your university or school with the final grade. And another elements are Mozilla Hub and Town, which is Metaverse. Mozilla Hub is open source solution, open source Metaverse, and Town is not open source, but you can use it for free up to 25 students. Also, the Mozilla Hub is free service and it's available on internet for free, but I think also the maximum capacity is 25. And this is open source. Probably you can install them and use for your own self or your own organization. But I don't know, but anyway, I used it for one semester and it worked okay, and the data was saved there for a long time. But it cannot be guaranteed that how long they will sustain. So with the Mozilla Hub, probably I can show this demonstration. Somehow that Mozilla Hub is completed with the tube story is completed with Mozilla Hub, so I had to open it in Firefox. Firefox, it works okay. So when you open tube story, there's some confliction with Mozilla Hub, and Mozilla Hub is not open when the tube story is open. So I couldn't solve the problem, so I opened the Firefox here. So Firefox, I load in, and here also I can use that open. So I enter the Mozilla Hub with two different account, and you can move around and from Mozilla Hub like this. And I told you that up to 25 students can join for the class. So here, let me make it a little bit bigger. So there's two different, one from mobile and one from desktop. So they are they on the same room? Let me see. I can see. Okay, here I can find him here. I can go to him. I can. Okay, let me see. I can. Okay, I can. Okay, I can ask him to come near. So here, probably he can. Let's see. He can find him. Okay. All right, he's here. Hello. So two different students can get together and they can talk and they can chat each other. So let me just introduce that. When you have a 3D subject, 3D materials object you like to share, probably I'm the one who is teaching electrical engineering and electrical machines. So I use 3D part of. Okay, this is not the hour. Okay, I will move to the room I made for my class. This is an electrical room. Electrical machine room actually. If you go there, I can see many different kind of 3D models I made and put in there. You can even post some links to the outside world, or for the YouTube you can directly post your YouTube contents inside, so you can make pretty much good classroom using YouTube and then external link and putting your own 3D models there. And you can ask students to come to this room and get together and use your mic. You can actually substitute Zoom class. So you can use it for your own purpose as the way you like it. And Gather Town, probably Gather Town is this is a little bit different. Gather Town is a 2D. Okay, let me close other. 2D based metaverse. So you can also put your images and not 3Ds, because for the 3D is just 2D cartoon-like metaverse, but external link is also possible. So here, as you can see me, I can control to move between different places, and so many other students, 25 up to 5 students, when I approach the link I put in there, it appears as a document. So when you get there, you need to press key X button, and yeah, it will bring, if you click that one, it will bring your Moodle activity I already made. Because the metaverse usually lacks their learning or teaching capability, I think the best way to solve is to connect the LMS with the metaverse world, and this is the way I use them for my classes. Okay, that's about my presentation. So back to the main here, to the conclusion. Okay, conclusion for I would like to explain more dynamic and interesting environment, right? So maybe I can move a little closer here. Okay, now I can. And okay, everything just converted to presentation, PowerPoint type very nicely. Okay, last conclusion. Okay, here's the same one in the conclusion I mentioned on the mind map. It's converted that way. The first conclusion is open source services are beneficial, so please take good advantage of them. The second is the technology is in the air, right? But use them in the context. I presented so many different class elements, online class element, but they must be used in some storytelling environment. Otherwise, there will be just the students will get tired easily if there is no smooth rhythmical connections between each different element. And the third is most important one. Educators' technological competency is important because that to use this technology, the educators must understand these elements first, right? That is very challenging. So I would like to suggest that each individual institutions and organizations should arrange a step-by-step training for the members of instructors, and don't push them too hard to move it to the new technology so fast and so hard. So take some time and do it one by one. So probably you can encourage them to use just a simple one, like use Moodle Forum first. And if they are accustomed to that, well, probably you can make a regulation that you have to use at least one activities like this for your class first, right? And they will just get accustomed to using the activities one by one. Finally, the Marabus. Actually, it's not that complicated to use those technologies. I didn't spend that much time, but they are not just acquainted with using new technology. Probably they don't have the impression that the organization is pushing me to do this. Just take your time. In Korean, it's very difficult because that everybody is looking for some purpose and objectives, and all the time they like to use it efficient way and effective way. But sometimes time with enough time and patience, that really can make everybody happy and get some accomplishment. Thank you very much. That's for my presentation.